Everything in the world falls into two groups, a living or non-living group. It's easy to decide when things are living or when they are non-living. However, it's a bit more tricky to decide with other things if they are living or not. All living things must grow and change, move on their own, eat, drink, and breathe, and most importantly, reproduce. All of these characteristics must be present in order for objects to be classified as living. Let's take a closer look at some objects. We will need to decide if they are living or not based on the characteristics they have. The first example we're going to take a look at is water and a waterfall. So looking at the screen, you can see the water is moving on its own. It definitely has grown from a small stream into a bigger, flowing river. However, water cannot eat, drink, or breathe, and water does not reproduce. Therefore, water is a non-living thing. The second example we're taking a look at is a clock ticking. Now again, looking at the clock, you can see it is moving. However, it is not moving on its own. It needs a battery to help power it up. The clock does not grow and change in any way. It does not need food, water, it cannot breathe, and it cannot reproduce. So the only characteristic it has of a living thing is that it's moving. However, it's not moving on its own. A clock is a non-living thing. The third example we are taking a look at is this flag. The flag seems to be moving on its own. However, it is actually being moved by the wind around it. The flag does not grow and change in any way. It does not need food or drink. It doesn't breathe the air, and it does not reproduce. Therefore, even though it looks like it has some characteristics of living things, it is a non-living thing. The last example we're going to take a look at is Cookie Monster. Now if you look at the screen, this one is a little bit tricky because Cookie Monster is acting like we do. He's talking, he's able to pick up things around him, like he's picking up the book right now. He's able to hold it in his hands, he's standing up. However, Cookie Monster is a puppet. So you have to ask yourself, what do you know about puppets? Puppets cannot move unless somebody is moving them. Cookie Monster never grows and changes. Cookie Monster does not eat, drink. Even though he's talking and it looks like he's a human, he does not breathe. And Cookie Monster does not reproduce. Therefore, Cookie Monster is a non-living thing, even though he has many characteristics of living things. So now that we've taken a closer look at some objects that have characteristics of living things, but we know are non-living, let's take a look at the two examples on the screen. Can you tell which one is an example of a living object and which one is non-living? What characteristics does a non-living object have that make it seem as though it is living?